Welcome along to Extra Time here on Fox's Hub. I've got Matt, Elliott and Iwan Roberts sat either side of me. We're having a few technical issues, so we'll get Tony Cottee as soon as we can. But it's just us three for now, but that's all we need, isn't it, guys? After yet another Leicester City victory, it's been a brilliant start to the season. I wasn't here 2 weeks ago for the extra time following the Hull game, which has been the only defeat, actually, of the season. So I wonder if there's any correlation there, Ewan.
It's good to have you back, Dan.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And it's great to be back speaking about another victory. Right, we'll assess the game against Southampton on Friday evening. It was, 4-1 in the end? Could have been more, really, couldn't it? We'll talk about that. Ewan will take us globe-trotting. We've got all sorts. We'll do our football Jenga as well at the end of the show. And we've also got Lurdle for you guys at home to get involved with. Firstly, Ewan, good evening. Have you had a nice weekend? Been busy, I'm sure, gallivanting as ever?
Yeah, I watched the game on Friday night. Thoroughly entertaining game. Loved it. Great way to respond to that defeat at Hull here at the King Power a couple of weeks ago. Great response from the lads. You can see that they've worked very hard on the training pitch. We'll talk about the game in a bit. But Saturday night I was in Cardiff for the South Wales derby. Absolutely chucked it down. Got soaked. My notes were all over the shop, and it wasn't a classic. Had it been played in my back garden, I'd have closed the curtains.
Matt, good evening as well to you. You actually went down to the South Coast, didn't you? A nice, pleasant Friday afternoon journey down?
Yeah, a nice little meander through the back roads of Southampton, or Hampshire, is it? It's Hampshire, isn't it? It took me on an alternative route, to say the least. I was attacked by Jabberwockies and headless horsemen at different stages.
Trust the phone, Matty. Trust Google.
Well, I did.
Got to trust it, yeah.
I did. I went Waze. Are we allowed to say that? I don't know. A different option to Google. But it's definitely the right way, because I had about a convoy of about 20 cars behind me.
All
with
Leicester fans,
City shirts. Yeah, we're all doing it, and in front as well. So, it was bizarre. But well worth the travel, well worth the anguish, shall we say, of the journey, because what a performance it was, wasn't it? What a game. I mean, a strange game, to say the least, but highly enjoyable from a Leicester point of view. Southampton supporters have got to be scratching their heads, and so are the players, I think, and the manager should be as well, but that's another point. But for Leicester's angle, all good, wasn't it? As you say, perfect response to the performance and result against Hull a couple of weeks prior.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very good performance. If you are watching us either on Facebook or on YouTube, do get involved in the comments section. If you've got any questions for our guests this evening, do get them in. But Ewan, again, as you both alluded to, it was a really good win. Another fellow relegated side in Southampton. A lot of people tipping them to potentially go up. So it was a real statement performance.
I think it was. It's one of those that would make people stand up and take notice. I think it's by far, and we're still early days, the season's still in its infancy. It was by far the best performance. It's been a really good start, really positive. The one thing that's been lacking for me is that clinical edge in the final third, scoring goals. Creating opportunities hasn't been a problem, just haven't been taking those chances. Everything clicked into play on Friday night. Two new head coaches in Russell Martin in at Southampton, Enzo in here, both with similar philosophies. Both want to build up from the back. But I mean, all four goals were absolutely top class. It was an absolutely magnificent performance from start to finish. You go 1-0 up after 21 seconds, it's a great start. 2-0 up after 18. Could have been 2-0 up before 18, to be fair, with the chance that wasn't taken. And I sent you a text after the game, Dan. Could have been 6 or 7. Yeah, Southampton created a couple of opportunities as well. But on the day, they were well beaten by a very, very good Leicester team and a very, very good Leicester performance.
Jane on Facebook says, fab result and a great watch on Friday. Lisa says, positive results and we need to keep going. Jimmy G picked up on the same thing you did, Russell Martin's post-match interview. He said that he thought that Southampton matched them, but in your view, clearly, and in Jimmy's, that Leicester were comfortably the better team on Friday.
Could have been a few more, Dan. That's the thing, and
Could have been double.
yeah,
Easy.
I remember a few years ago, went down there and scored 9.
Yeah.
Could have been similar to that scoreline.
Yeah.
And I said to you before that the way Russell Martin plays, he doesn't want his team to go from back to front quickly. He's not direct. He's got this obsession about playing out the back to his detriment at times, and it showed again. They've conceded 4 at St Mary's against Norwich. They've been up to the Stadium of Light 2 weeks ago, conceded 5. They've got the worst defensive record in the league. But I mean, the quality I think it's the Ndidi goal. I don't know if you've. It starts
33
with
passes.
yeah,
I think it is,
and then a fantastic finish. And I think that's what. I think that's the football that Enzo wants his team to play. Just patient in possession. Building up from the back, going from left to right, and then from right to left until that opportunity shows itself. Great bit of play from Mavididi, who was outstanding on the night. And where on earth did Wilfred Ndidi find that cool finish from? Absolutely magnificent.
Yeah, no, I think everything you said, Ewan, is pretty much spot on. But at the same time, I think Southampton contributed to how well Leicester played, without a doubt. I mean, you look at it. I mean, all 4 goals were good. I totally agree. It could quite comfortably have been double. Yeah. It could have been 8-3 or 4, by the way, not 8-1. But that's slightly deluded, I have to say. Russell Martin saying after the game, that 4-1. Okay, sometimes the scoreline doesn't always tell the story, but it pretty much did in this.
And probably didn't.
Could have been worse. Could have been worse. Exactly. Could have been worse. Yes, they had their opportunities themselves. Leicester. I thought for a period Leicester contributed to a few problems of their own. I think at 3-1 the game wasn't done and dusted. Maybe that's the point that Martin's trying to make. 4-1, yes, no coming back from that. But but Leicester was. I don't know. You can say ultimately they looked solid, protecting that lead, but I wasn't that convinced by it. To be fair, I'd like to have seen them more in control. I always thought they were going to win the game because of the flow of how it went and how reckless Southampton were. And Leicester pretty impressive at times, like you say. That Ndidi goal, a great example. Early on, Mavididi, Vardy linking up. It was sharp. They were very sort of reactive to the situations. But Southampton, I've never seen defending like it. Never seen defending like it. I mean, there's levels of playing from the back. It wasn't even just so much that was their problem. That was part of it. Trying to play very technical, intricate football with players. It's questionable whether they're up to it. Whether they're capable of doing that. But it was just leaving themselves exposed. It was cavalier to the extreme.
Well, I saw Russ for 2 years at Swansea, Matty, and in his 2 years at Swansea, they had the 5th and 6th worst defensive record in the division, because of the reasons that you say. They'll try and play out the back at times when it's not on, when the other team are pressing as a unit, and I think that's what Leicester did so well. They got numbers up. The 3 midfielders, the 2 wingers, Jamie Vardy working his socks off. So it wasn't on to try and play out the back, but
crazy.
Yeah, it is. Crazy. And as you say,
also Leicester, the ease with which it looks to me like Maresca said that he was playing a lot. He's been working with the players who weren't on international duty, and Jamie Vardy, despite his age, the stage he's at his career, he's still capable of not necessarily learning but adapting. And I thought he changed his role a little bit. It was more of rather than the play going on around him, and he's the final piece of the jigsaw. He was getting involved earlier on, wasn't he? He was linking up, and I think he's brought that.
I think the first goal is, as you say, normally, if Leicester had won the ball in that final third against the opposition,
he's on his bike.
He's in the box.
Yeah.
But he shows outside, plays a lovely little 1-2 with Mavididi, who's then got the awareness to, does ever so well to get to the byline, pulls it back, and it's a great finish from Jamie Vardy.
Yeah, he's tucked it away, exactly. But I just thought that was quite a prominent feature of Leicester's play, but also the ease with which they were allowed to find Vardy and other front area players massive holes in the midfield and back to front. It was stretched, etc. It was a recipe for disaster, and that's what they got, Southampton. But listen, to Leicester's credit, they took full advantage, didn't they?
15 shots in that first half. Leicester had 8 on target. I mean, you'd be happy with that in a 90-minute game.
Yeah.
To be fair, and that midfield for me, Winks, Dewsbury Hall, and Ndidi. I don't think there's a better midfield three in the Championship than them.
They've got good balance, haven't
Yeah.
they, between them, good blend. I mentioned it previously. The only thing perhaps you could say they're missing is, someone with that bit of stardust that, James Maddison, but there ain't too many James Maddisons around. But perhaps Dewsbury Hall.
Well, Mavididi showed that a little bit with
Over time.
his turn outside
Well,
the box.
yeah, no, he has ability, his best game, I think, as well. He looked on it. He looked alive. Not always the case. But, listen, there's lots of variety to Leicester's play. Whoever comes on, Cassidy comes on, Fatsu comes on. He gives another dimension.
Yeah.
McAteer himself.
That was the name I was going to mention. We've not mentioned Casey McAteer yet.
No,
the
exactly.
way he takes
What
his
a job.
job.
For
3 goals
his
in 4
age.
games now.
Well, he gives the impression, to me, that the manager treats him almost like an experienced player. He's responsible and mature in his way, in his game, isn't he? He's reliable, but also capable of exciting things.
Which is very exciting in itself. He's what is he? Joint top scorer, Ewan, for the club,
3 goals in 4 appearances. I think
along with Wilfred Ndidi, by the way.
Is that right? See,
Prolific.
It is. And all of a sudden, they've gone from, I think they were 10 top scorers in the division before that game. Now they're second. Only 2 teams have scored more goals than Leicester City, Sunderland and Norwich City, where we go on Wednesday night. And it just goes to show Leicester have got the players in that final third to punish teams. McAteer's finish, it's a great ball in from Dewsbury Hall. The weight of the pass is perfect. He hasn't stayed out wide and sort of see how the build-up went. He's made that darting run into the box. Two great touches, one to control the ball. He's lost his defender and a superb finish. I mean, to go there and to win in that manner, it was very impressive.
Yeah, I've actually seen the replay of the goal when Dewsbury Hall he half intercepts it, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And Leicester win it back. Immediately, McAteer is gone. He's absolutely sprinted, about 20, 30 yards, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was good awareness by him, really, because he's noticed where the space is. He's had a look. He hasn't just charged forward goalwards. There's a little bit of thought about it. Southampton, no surprise there. They have big gaping holes in their defence. He's identified it, timed his run, angled his run, and then, as Ewan says, excellent touch, bang, finish. Short, sharp, precise, incisive football from Dewsbury and McAteer, and very intelligent as well at the same time.
At one point on commentary, you were pretty much giving the whole 11 the man of the match award, weren't you?
I always knew where I was coming back to because I missed him out from the start, didn't I? But there were contributions.
But Mavididi, by the way, is
Mavididi, for his impact, like goal wise, etc.
2 assists as well, didn't he?
It was effectively, wasn't it? Yeah. So 2 assists. Yeah, he should have had another goal himself,
or another assist.
Or another assist. Yeah, exactly. Whichever way you look at it. Yeah, to be fair, he had to pass that, didn't he?
Okay, hold on. Ewan Roberts, former striker. I mean, we're still trying to get Tony Cottee.
Vardy would have passed
if we can. Tony Cottee definitely wouldn't have passed it. Let's make that clear.
Is that what he said?
Well, we know that he wouldn't because he said that previously. Vardy would have passed it. Would you have passed it in that situation?
I would have passed it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was saying that now, in the heat of battle, in the heat of the moment, I'm through one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Yeah, I do think if I can see my partner, all it needs, because there's always
that was so obvious, that one.
It was, because there's always that small percentage that you might miss, as he did. You know that if you square that or just play it forward, he's running on, and it's an open goal.
Yeah, it wasn't even like a difficult pass. There was no sort of real risk, wasn't it? So, yeah, Vardy was
but I tell you
quite polite in that instance.
What he did do well, to finish his goal the way he did after having missed that.
We should have laid that one off as well.
Yeah, I thought fair play. That showed good character, I tell you, and belief.
Belief. Yeah. There's another word that you can use. It's not really safe for being on
If
there.
he scores it shows good. If he misses, he's a clown and a lot worse than that, isn't he?
But I don't think that one was as blatant as the first one. You know what I mean? His second, the one that he scores from.
No, he was entitled to.
Yeah, I think
that was first time round, he was entitled to shoot.
Yeah.
But the second time, you
got past it,
but fair play, backed himself. Well done.
Yeah, exactly. And he got the goal. Great celebrations in the away end as well.
Yeah, well, they had well time supporters, didn't they? I mean, they turned up. I mentioned it in the commentary. They did brilliantly to get there. The journey, as long as it was, a Friday night, 2,500 or so supporters in full voice, enjoying themselves to the max. And, well, it was positive from the off, wasn't it? Literally, the first 20 seconds, Jamie Vardy pops one in the back of the net and never really looked backwards there. There were a few scary moments midway through the first half, but no better feeling as a supporter away from home. 4-1 up with 15 minutes to go, was it, or so? Probably longer than that. You can just enjoy that, can't you? Just sit there and gloat, and whatever the opposition supporters want to say or don't say is irrelevant. It's just brushed aside.
The big goal for me was the one on 47 minutes, was it?
Yeah, well, just before the break.
Yeah, that was a bit of a killer blow for Southampton, I think, because they'd got themselves back in the game. Yeah, they'd had a couple of opportunities in that first half, hadn't taken them.
There was a couple of scary moments, to be fair.
But that one, with the final kick of that first half, and it makes a world of difference. Going in at 3-1, because 2-0 is always a dangerous scoreline. If you get the next one 3-0, it's game over. If the opposition get it 2-1, it gives them that belief, then they can get back into the game.
I think it gave a better reflection of how the first half went.
Southampton
did try and get themselves back into it, but you always felt Leicester were going to have the upper hand. They had the random defending that Southampton were coming out with. You thought surely Leicester will capitalise, and they did. I tell you, it was funny. I tried to say it the other night, but cut me short with the Maresca interview. But on the sideline, you wouldn't have seen it from your angle, but Kelechi Iheanacho, Patson Daka, and a third player, which I can't picture now. The three of them were going absolutely wild when Wilfred and Ndidi scored that, because they're mates with Wilfred. They hang around together, don't they? And they were whooping and hollering and jumping around, almost in disbelief as much as excitement.
He took it unbelievably well.
Yeah, but it was funny because they're giggling away to each other as if, you see what Wilfred's just done there, but like enjoying it fully.
He looks like he's loving this new freer role he's got in midfield. Got that licence to get forward.
There's a new video actually on Fox's Hub. So once you've finished watching us here on Extra Time, it's the new episode of The Box, which is a new feature that we're doing. Basically, it's a room the players can come sit in there and they answer questions either about their lives, about their footballing lives, and we got 5 of them to sit down and talk about the Southampton win. Wilfred Ndidi is one of them, and he actually talks about how it was basically the best striker in the world he was at that moment in time. The way he took the ball on the half turn, he feinted, he did the fake shot, came in, scored. He's obviously having a laugh, but it's definitely worth watching it, and it proves that there is a belief in this group that Wilfred Ndidi is someone who we've not seen score many in his Leicester career, and now look at him.
I think the main reason for that, Dan, is because he's played more of a defensive role for the team. He's been that where Harry Winks is playing now, and because Enzo only wants to play with one sitting midfielder and 2 slightly further in front that are going to be more attacking. We've always known he's got a great engine. But probably what we've not seen before is the type of finishes that he's produced for his goals. I mean, the goal that was it Burton in the League Cup.
Yeah, what a finish that was. Yeah.
Absolute top corner. Couldn't have hit it any better. But just the coolness. Is it coolness? Is that the right word?
Yeah. Calmness.
Composure.
Yeah,
the composure to set the defender in and put him on his bottom, and then to finish it like he did. Fantastic.
Yeah, some goal, wouldn't it?
Oh.
Everyone's of the same view watching that. There was an element of astonishment, but there always is when Wilfred scores. To be fair, even that sounds a bit harsh, but yeah, the way he tucked that one away at Burton, I don't know, 6 inches either side, either way.
Yeah.
It's not going in.
No.
Or it gets saved, whatever. Fortunate and unintended against Tranmere, but he made it look good. You could almost believe that he meant that, but not quite convinced. But I mean, just being in those areas, as you say. Listen, we know by now it's a different role, and I think well done to Wilfred as well. But, and so you have to say well done to the manager as well. But it shows you what Wilfred's providing there, because it's tough to play against him as well, because he can run for fun. He's got such a stride and athleticism about him. Fit as a fiddle. If you're playing against him and you've got to track him, as players are trying to do, go up man to man against Leicester. Southampton were trying to do that. Huddersfield have done it. Hull have done it to varying degrees of success. But Wilfred stretches you, takes you that way, and there's nothing worse.
Powerful boy, mate.
Midfielder in there chasing that. You go, oh no, here we go again. But even in the first half, he is powerful. Yeah, very much so. And he's recognising the times to do it. Quite a few times he goes, let's go from back to front, over the top, with Wilfred making runs beyond Jamie Vardy. On occasion, it's something, it's a tactic they try and employ. Again, to varying degrees of success. But well done to him, how flexible he's been. Because I think most people would have thought when Cassidy came in, that here we go, game or two, Cassidy's going to be the man, Wilfred will miss out. Hasn't proved to be the case.
It's exactly what I was going to say, Matt. And fair play to Enzo, I guess, as well, because Cassidy scored that goal late on against Cardiff, didn't he? And everyone thought, OK, that'll be it now. Probably be Cassidy in ahead of Wilfred indeed, but it hasn't been that case. And Wilf was exceptional on Friday evening.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say, I mean, a couple of years ago, 2-3 years ago, I think I've said it on this show that he has to be up there with one of the best defensive midfielders in the country. He was on top of his game. He suffered a few injuries, which has taken its toll. He struggled last season, but the football club struggled last season. He's come back pre-season. He looks hungry. He's got the bit between the teeth. He's been given a new lease of life, I think, under Enzo. I think he's enjoying every minute of this new role in midfield. And it just goes to show that, he was probably labelled with, probably unfairly, as a defensive midfielder, but he's got more strings to his bow, if that's the right saying.
100%. 100% he has. I think he surprised everyone with the way that he has adapted. I mean, you've seen, again, that game against Burton, I was lucky enough to see it up close hand as well. Definitely a different side to his game. He was involved with little triangles, give and goes, picking up space. It's a total transformation from the player we've seen previously in terms of style. Again, and well done for him. And I mean, even in pre-season, when Leicester went to, where did they go pre-season? I was there. I should remember.
Peterborough?
No.
Northampton.
Yeah, that's it. I had a blank then. We did an interview with Enzo Maresca afterwards, and we mentioned about Wilfred. There was a bit of a chuckle and a wry smile from the manager. He said, "I know it's not his normal position, but listen, we'll try it." And I thought it was just a mini experiment, really, but it's proven to stand up the test of time, hasn't it? Certainly this far, and I think even if it doesn't continue all season, I think there is a role for Wilfred to play without a doubt.
Here's a hypothetical for you, Ewan. 6 games in, 5 wins, 1 defeat, second in the league. Would Enzo have taken that at the start of the season?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Because before Saturday, 4 wins had come by the odd goal.
Yep.
So
no winners before the 72nd minute either. So no comfortable game.
But that's a good sign, Dan, I think. That's a good sign that they keep going, and until the final whistle. I think that's a really, really good positive sign. It's a game of 98, 99, even longer nowadays with all the added times. I don't think that's a bad sign whatsoever. I think it was with Jonathan here a few weeks ago. I think Enzo had been on a podcast, or he'd done an interview somewhere, and he was saying that he thinks the team's only 10, 20% where he would like them to be. But after that performance, and I think he'll be delighted with that third goal. I think that's how he wants the team to play. 32, 33 passes before the finish.
Yeah.
It was like watching Man City, in all fairness, the way they just kept possession.
Yeah. Yeah, I think maybe sometimes people get a little bit carried. It's impressive, don't get me wrong. 33 passes or whatever. There was almost like that attack stopped and started about 3 times, didn't it? So, but you can say that's all about part of the process, dragging players into areas, etc., and working the ball. Now, it's good that Leicester are capable of keeping the ball for that long, whatever. But there was a bit of intent about it as well, because they probed forward and then they realised, it wasn't quite on, so come all right, we'll start again. Didn't panic, didn't force it. So, from that side of things, impressive. But ultimately, it's normally no more than 3/2 passes, isn't it, or touches that are crucial, the ones that actually create something. But I liked it. It wasn't just keeping it back, and then Leicester happened to score at the end of it. There was an intent about it. Three odd occasions, really. It's like 3 phases to that move. It wasn't boring to watch. It wasn't sort of draining the life out of it, just keeping it for keeping's sake. But that was the most potent that Leicester have looked. Yeah, without a doubt.
Best performance.
Yeah, you could see it was. Admittedly, Southampton presented the opportunities to them and gave them the opportunity to play well, but they didn't pass up on that opportunity.
I believe we've got Tony Cottee with us now. We're halfway through the show, but that doesn't matter. Tony, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me, Dan?
Yes, we can, Tony. Fantastic to have you on.
He's too busy hobnobbing with all his ex-West Ham mates, Paolo Di Canio and all that business. And
Matt, I bet you've got the right ump with me, because not only did you have to go to Southampton on Friday night because I couldn't obviously do the game, you've obviously had to work a lot harder in the studio tonight because there's only 2 of you and I haven't been able to help you out. So I bet Matt's got the right ump with me. Evening, Ewan, by the way.
How are you, TC?
To be honest, Tone, I'm not that keen on you at the best of times.
I know that, Matt. I know that.
and he was definitely cursing you on his 6-hour journey down to St Mary's on Friday evening. And you won't be surprised to hear, Tony, he was late for his co-commentary duties as well in the pre-match show.
Leave earlier, Matt. I've told you so many times. Leave earlier.
I'd have had to leave Thursday, mate, to get there on time.
Right, now that we've got Tony, let's do the first of our Lurdles for the evening.
Just say hello to Tone quickly, properly, officially. Good do Monday, by the way, Tone. Probably more fun. Golf day.
Cheers, Matt. Yeah.
Enjoyed it. Well done.
It's great to see you and Tags there, and it was a really, really good day. Raised lots of money for charity, so thanks for coming, mate.
Yeah, is there any way people can get a link to that, Tony? Just Google it and they can put money forward.
Yeah, just go online, Dan, and the Bobby Moore Fund for Cancer Research UK.
Perfect. All right, thank you for that, Tony. Right, let's do the first of our Lurdles then this evening, as we've got everyone with us, so we can all get involved in that. Right, Lurdle number 1. A reminder, if you're new to the show here on Extra Time, basically we'll play you snippets of commentary of a Leicester City goal. You've got to tell us who scored the goal and who the opposition was.
It's gone back to Schmeichel. Evans will have to sprint back into position. In fact, he's received the ball from Soyuncu as he was doing that.
There we go. That's clue number 1. Don't be alarmed if you're struggling and you have absolutely no idea. That's the point. Clue number 1 is difficult. 2 gets a little easier. 3 gets a bit more easier. And then 4 is basically a giveaway. So get your answers in either on Facebook or on YouTube in the comments section. We'll be impressed if you get clue number 1. That's the aim. Ewan's done that a couple of times this season. He's been quite smug, haven't you, Ewan? Don't think you're getting
That's not me. I'm never smug.
I don't think you're getting it this evening, though. Tony, we've obviously been talking for half an hour about the game on Friday evening. A really, really good result for Leicester. A statement victory is the term that's been used.
Yeah, I'll apologise in advance, Dan, because I've been sitting here for half an hour. I've seen all of you chatting away, and I'm not good at lip reading, obviously, so I'm not really aware of what you've spoken about. So forgive me if I repeat something you've already spoken about. But no, I've thoroughly enjoyed the performance. It was so important for Leicester to get back to winning ways after losing, obviously, at home in the last match and that. And I think they signalled their intent. I'm sure the boys have touched on the dreadful defending by Southampton, but even when they do defend poorly, you've still got to take advantage of that. I'm really, really pleased for Jamie Vardy, because I think it's important that he got off the mark and, start scoring goals this season. So I'm pleased for him. And there was some really, really good goals, some really good performances in amongst it all. and it was so comfortable that I listened to Matt, and I think he sort of joked about maybe there's only 8 more goals to go, and quite simply Leicester really could have pushed on to get that. I know they only got 4 in the end, but Kelechi could have scored towards the end, and there was many other chances as well. So it was a fantastic performance, and I thoroughly enjoyed the game as well. I must admit, I don't know about the boys. I watch some football nowadays, and I find it slow and ponderous and boring. I thought it was a really, really good game of football from both teams. I know there was defensive mistakes. I thought it was a fantastic game of football and a brilliant result for Leicester.
Yeah, for a neutral particularly, I think everyone was saying, what a brilliant game to watch. It was a bit heart attack inducing at times, being involved in it, but it went the right way. Tony, we were debating before, the Steffi Mavididi, the one where he puts it wide, he could have played Jamie Vardy in when he was through one-on-one and then does the same again but scores the second time round. I said I'd pretty much bet my house that you threw on goal. You're never, ever passing that ball, are you?
Absolutely, Dan. I've got no intention of passing. All I would do is what he did on the second one, which he put it in the back of the net. But I think as a centre-forward, you just think goal. This is a wonderful opportunity. You work on it in training. Ewan would have done exactly the same as me. You practice. You get your skills right, and that 1v1 I think it's the perfect challenge for a centre forward. I used to love that because when you run through, you've got to make those decisions. Am I shooting early? Am I going around the goalkeeper? Am I dinking the goalkeeper like the Southampton player did for their goal? There's so many skills that come into play, but I think, as a very, very selfish centre forward, I'm not passing there unless it's absolutely blatant and someone's screaming their head off, which I'm pretty certain Jamie Vardy would have been. And of course, as we all know, if you mess it up and it doesn't go in the back of the net, whatever choice you made, there are repercussions. But it was important that you put it in, especially when it was the second break was 3 against 1, Dan, and that's unusual. You don't normally see that in modern day football, do you? I know it sort of came from Southampton losing the ball, but it was important. It was a great finish, and I was really impressed with him. He had a great game. He looked sharp, good touches, and that. And again, putting the ball in the back of the net is always a good experience for any player. But those 1v1s, I don't know what Ewan spoke about it, but that is what you play foottle for as a centre forward. To have that position where you're 1v1 on the goalkeeper.
Well, TC, that was your bread and butter, mate. 1-on-1 we got. I wasn't as confident, if I'm totally honest with you. If I had a bit too much time, as you said, all sorts of things would be going through my mind. It'd be that element of doubt. What am I going to do? And that's fatal when that happens. Then 9 times out of 10 you will miss. I just think
9 times out of 10 the defenders would have caught you by the time to shoot anyway, haven't they?
I'd pull that caravan, wouldn't I?
Talking to Tony doesn't surprise me at all. Talk about selfish. There's probably more to do on Monday night. You should have seen him. He wouldn't share his bottle of wine either. He had it hidden under his jacket all night.
Don't listen to Matt. He's just making stories up now, boys. Do not be influenced by what he's saying.
Yeah, I feel like I've worked with Tony enough now in the 5.5 years I've been here that I know for a fact he was never passing that ball, and I'm glad I was there.
Or that bottle.
Right, at Circle 28 on YouTube wants clue number 2 for our Erdl. Clearly he was struggling with clue number 1, as was everybody by the looks of things. So here's clue number 2. A reminder, we're looking for the goal scorer and the team that it was scored against.
It's gone back to Schmeichel. Evans will have to sprint back into position. In fact, he's received the ball from Soyuncu as he was doing that. Then it's Ricardo, first time right-footed from the near side touchline. It's almost like the fans now are trying to get the players going rather than the other way around.
Give him much
It's
away
not
either.
one that sticks in the mind right now, is it?
Okay, I'll play that one more time for you. So clue number 2 again.
It's gone back to Schmeichel. Evans will have to sprint back into position. In fact, he's received the ball from Soyuncu as he was doing that. Then it's Ricardo, first time right-footed from the near side touchline. It's almost like the fans now are trying to get the players going rather than the other way around.
There we go, that's clue number 2. We'll do clue number 3 relatively shortly. So a reminder, we're looking for the goal scorer and the team that it was scored against. Right, final point really on the game.
Has anyone got it?
Pardon?
Has anyone got it?
Not yet.
I was going to say, surely not.
Not yet.
Not on those first 2.
Okay. There's one word that potentially gives it away in that. And if you'd picked up on it, I'll write it down for you.
Fans.
Yeah. Something along the fans' lines. Anyway, right, we'll come back to it. Tony, yeah, last few bits on the game on Friday then. I said to Ewan before that 5 wins out of 6 at the start of the season, a disappointing home defeat to Hull, as we know, a couple of weeks ago. That game could have easily ended 3-1 to Leicester, though, obviously.
Hull are 5th, by the way.
Pardon?
Hull are 5th, by the
Yeah,
way.
they're going all right, aren't they?
Yeah, they've not lost since the opening day of the season.
So it really has been a start that Enzo Maresca would have been absolutely delighted with, as we've referenced already. New manager coming in, still trying to get his points across. On the pitch, at least, the results are coming.
I think it's the response that you're looking for, Dan. That's the main thing. You know, every team, well, unless you're Man City, obviously, but every team loses games. And it's how you respond and how you react individually and as a team. There wasn't an awful lot wrong with the performance against Hull, was there? And then on another day, you know, Leicester could maybe have got that result, but it wasn't to be. And then you then have sort of, you know, a little bit of time to think about it and analyse it, etc. And then it's important to bounce back after the international break. And, you know, it was on paper, Southampton, I know they've conceded a lot of goals this year, but on paper, that was a very, very tough game on Friday night. And for Leicester to do what they did to Southampton, obviously got relegated with Leicester last year. You know, one of the sort of pre-season favourites, probably to bounce back. I know they've sold a few players, but you would expect them to be up there, certainly pushing towards that top 6. You know, it was an excellent result, and it was a real good bounce back. And again, I don't know whether you have touched on it or not, a very, very difficult game, obviously coming up in midweek, and followed by another difficult game. They're all difficult games in the Championship. And, you know, once European football returns to obviously to the domestic season, you know that if you're in the Championship or in the lower leagues, you know you're going to be playing midweek. Lots of games coming thick and fast, and that's a really tough game coming up this week.
Yeah, we'll talk about that Norwich game in just a moment. We've had a few guesses in it, all incorrect, I will say. So Folk Macaroon on Twitter, on YouTube says Iheanacho against Everton. It isn't that. Curtis, rather, says, is it against Tottenham? No. Stuart Russell says, is it against Norwich? No, it isn't. Stuart, I see what you're doing there, because, you know, there's always a link, isn't there? There's always a link as why we've picked the goal. So Stuart's hedged his bets that it's against Norwich, because that is who, as Tony rightly says, we're playing in midweek. Ewan, it's a team you know very well, one of your former clubs, of course, and it will be a tough game away at Carrow Road.
I thought you meant the goal that...
No.
Yes.
Is he all right over there or what?
They've had a good start. A surprising start, to be fair. I don't think Norwich fans expected this. They had a really poor end to the season. Last season, only won once in 11, didn't win in their last 5 home games, 4 of which they lost. They didn't score in their last 5 home games. And what David Wagner's done, he lost Timu Pukki, who'd been the top scorer. Wasn't the top scorer last year. Josh Sargent was, but he's out injured now. He's out injured for a long period of time. So Adam Ider's playing up front, but he's brought in some good experience. Shane Duffy at the back, not the quickest. He's playing alongside Ben Gibson, not the quickest. Maybe there'll be a bit of joy for Jamie Vardy to have on Wednesday night. Ashley Barnes, old head up front. They've got pace in and around him. They're the top scorers in the division. They've scored 15 goals. They've got, I mean, something has to give on Wednesday night, because Leicester have got 100% record away from home. Norwich have got 100% record at home. So it promises to be a really, really good game, and there's a reason why it's on TV. You know, I think Sky are expecting it to be a humdinger, a bit like it was on Friday.
Yeah, it's got all the ingredients for that, hasn't it? I mean, perhaps I don't see Norwich being quite so cavalier as Southampton were, but yeah.
But they will go for it.
Without knowing the details as well as Ewan does, yeah, they're adventurous enough, aren't they? Exactly. As are Leicester. Both sides, you know, want to control the flow of the game if possible. And yeah, like I say, all the makings of a good game. So I don't know as well as Ewan, but I fully expected from the outset. I know it sort of surprised me a little bit that Ewan was saying Norwich supporters would be surprised how well they're doing.
Yeah.
But just the size of the club and the fact that they're always in and around it, aren't they, in the Championship more often than not. I think Norwich, you know, I fully expect them to be out, and part of the reason being the size of the club, but yeah, that experience that's been brought in. You know, if there isn't, then something's gone drastically wrong. If they're not up there at least having a shout, aren't they? So huge game, but loads of games coming up for Leicester. And I think that's a great point that Tony just made there. I'd made a similar point pre-season as well. Was that, look, at the end of the day, it's 46 games plus cup games, etc. It's going to be, a draining campaign that they're up against. And some of them haven't faced it before, others had, etc. But it's a different challenge for the Leicester players. There are going to be bumps in the road, and when there are, shrug them off and react. Get back on the bike.
Like they did Friday.
Like they did, exactly like that. I mean, different era, different time comparison. We got promoted when we had to after relegation. Club was in administration. We were super determined to grind it out, which is ultimately what we did. We got smashed, I think, 5-0, 5-6-0 away against Ipswich. Everyone was laughing at us, saying it used to be Premier League not so long ago. And we had a little look over our shoulders, and rather than doubting ourselves, it kick-started us into like, hang on, don't let this happen again. And it did happen again. Not 5-6-0, but a couple of weeks got turned over at Gillingham, of all places. You think that shouldn't happen to Leicester City, but things happen. But get back on the horse and deal with it.
Yeah, let's take a look at some of the reactions then from the Leicester City players on social media to that victory on Friday evening. Jamie Vardy, what a start, what a night. Was that 21 seconds into the game? Jamie Vardy with his first championship goal of the season. He looked right back to his absolute best, didn't he? Jamie Vardy. Steffi Mavadidi, obviously quite simple. Job done. That's all that matters.
He's nicked that off tags, hasn't he?
Yeah, job done. Yeah, game over. Yeah, very happy. Steffi Mavadidi, the young man Casey McAteer. What's he got now? 3 goals at the start of this season. He's had a dream start at his boyhood club. Been here since he was 8 years old. Casey McAteer. What a win on the road against a tough Southampton side. Everyone was class. Thanks to the travelling supporters. Who else we've got? A couple others as well. Wilfred and Ndidi. Smiles all round we go again. A reminder, you can see him speaking about that victory, speaking about his goal on our latest edition of The Box, which is available for you on Fox's Hub to watch after we've done here in about 20 minutes. Ricardo Pereira also features in that video. He said that Friday night feeling. Very happy. Don't ask me, Matt. I know you're going to. It's LCFC, is that hashtag there? It is. And finally, another job done, this time from Kieran Dewsbury. It's catching on the job done, Ewan, isn't it? Right, okay, that was the reaction then from the Leicester players. Clue number 3 for our Lardle is following before Ewan takes us globetrotting. So we'll do clue number 3 first.
It's almost like the fans now are trying to get the players going rather than the other way around. Songs been sung at both ends of the ground as Vardy with a sharp turn away, left-hand side, coming into the penalty area. Only Iheanacho to aim for.
Cogs are turning now slightly, Matt, are they? I'll play it one more time.
Yeah, I didn't listen properly.
It's almost like the fans now are trying to get the players going rather than the other way around. Songs been sung at both ends of the ground as Vardy with a sharp turn away, left-hand side, coming into the penalty area. Only Iheanacho to aim for.
There's clue number 3. I thought a few more people would have had it, including those in the studio, but not to be at the moment. You can keep having a little think about it while Iwan Roberts. Yes. I thought you would have done. Yeah. You see what I mean now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right, Ewan, time to take us globe-trotting this evening. Very much looking forward to this one.
Yeah, going to the Danish League, a game that was played last night. Aarhus, I think is how you pronounce it, against Brøndby, one of the biggest teams in the division.
What's the full title of the club name?
Aarhus AFG.
Right, okay.
They've got a goalkeeper on loan from Burnley, Bailey Peacock-Farrell. Got sent off after 25 minutes. I don't know if you've seen the clip on whatever social media. There was a back pass, and as he's gone to kick the ball, he slipped at the vital minute because he can see the centre forward is closing him down. So I wouldn't say he's panicked, but he slipped. The ball's hit the post, rolled back out a couple of yards. He's got back on his feet, and he can see that the centre forward might have just the ease of tapping. He's just rugby tackled him. Honestly, it wouldn't have looked a miss in Nice last night with England playing at Japan. He's just pulled him down. Straight red card. He can have no complaints. I think they scored from the pen. They went on to lose 3-0. So not the best of nights for young Bailey Peacock-Farrell. I was just thinking, I remember we spoke about this with you a few weeks ago, TC, and we actually watched that clip again of your red card at Liverpool, and it does make us laugh. Because how many did you?
You got a red card,
I think you got a few, TC, didn't you?
Sent off 3 times in my career. I was telling Dan earlier, I got sent off West Ham at Anfield, the one you're talking about, Ewan, which was a clumsy tackle, should we say, Rob Jones.
It was GBH, TC.
Yeah, and then I got sent off in pre-season for Everton as well, and then which was even more stupid, I got sent off for England under 21s, and on all 3 occasions, the red mist come down, and I wasn't like that as a player, as you both know, having played with me. But just every now and again, I got so frustrated over one thing or another. You lose your head, you do a silly tackle or retaliate or whatever, and all 3 times I got punished for it. So, I'm not proud of the fact I got sent off 3 times.
I only got sent off twice in 750 games. One was for Wales, we were talking about that earlier. The second one was for Leicester against Derby at the old baseball ground.
Right.
And remember midfielder Robin van der Laan?
Yeah.
I'd got the ball, I just got in front of him,
flip-flop.
and I could feel him taking my shirt. And as TC said then, the red mist came down, and I just lost my head. I just turned around and punched him straight in the face. Actually punched him straight in the face. I didn't even need to...
Just walked off.
Walked off. Luckily, I got out of jail. The little jockey scored the winner. We beat them 1-0.
Right.
So,
I saw a jockey the other day, actually.
After about 25 minutes as well. So we had to play a
Still
long
won the
time.
game,
Yeah, still won the game. Lucky. Only cost me 2 weeks' wages. Could have been a month.
No, it's harsh, isn't it?
You must have had a few, Matt, in your
Had a
career.
few, not as many as you might think. Good job Walshy's not here. It's a bit long show, isn't it? That's
2 hour
sure.
show.
But I had one half similar to the one that you mentioned there with the keeper, Peacock Farrell, playing for Oxford against Wickham. Big local derby in relative terms, sort of thing. So it was quite a big atmosphere. The first 10 minutes, ball's gone over the top. I'm in the channel. I'll deal with this. Don't worry. And I was like on the left side, and I've miscontrolled it, and it skitted through. And I've gone to play the ball to the side, so my body movement's going that way. I think it was Miguel de Souza who skipped past me. He's in on goal, like he would have been. And I couldn't catch him to like tug him back. I'd dive full length rugby tackle. It was a great tackle, to be fair, the wrong sport. Took him down, his face in the mud, and I just got up and walked off. It was only 15 minutes gone. We lost 3-0. So, I was to blame, my fault. But the worst one I was sent off, quick one, Batesy, against West Ham. Your boys, TC, Joe Cole was playing. And I remember it was the season we got relegated anyway at Leicester. But this day confirmed our relegation. Playing against West Ham, Joe Cole's come dancing in the penalty area. I put my foot out to make a challenge, got the ball, he's dived over it, thrown himself on the floor, referee, whistle goes, penalty. I'm like, you're having a laugh, aren't you, ref? Like, if we lose, we get relegated, so and it's a bit tense anyway. So Joe Cole's on the floor, sort of looking through his fingers, seeing what the ref's done, giving it play acting. I'll give him a little dig on the floor.
What do you mean by a little dig?
I kicked him, but not really hard. I was like, you cheating, whatever. And then the next minute, I'd had a broken knuckle, right, from another incident. But I won't go there. But Trevor Sinclair comes over to me, and he's grabbed me by the throat. Like, don't kick my mate and all this, whatever. I couldn't push him off because my hand was in a plaster, and he'd take me from that side. So in the end, I got fed up with him. He's grabbed me for about 5 seconds. I think he's trying to show me up here, so I just dropped the nut on him, basically. so I headbutted Trevor Sinclair. He started wobbling around.
And they sent you off for that?
And the ref was going to send me off anyway, so it was like a double send. It sent me off. Gets on the sideline, looks over my shoulder. Your mate, TC, Paolo Di Canio was playing. I just saw him saunter up to take the penalty, dinked it Panenka style, just to rub it in a little bit more. I think Simon Royce in goal, chucked himself out the way. And so we lost the game 1-0, got relegated that day. I got sent off, 2-week ban, and like you said, 2 weeks wages as well.
Not
a little relegation into the mix. So it's not my favourite day.
Not a good day at all. Right, we've got to very quickly do our predictions and the final. All right, and the final. Lurdle, we've had a correct answer. Well done to Rye on YouTube, who's got it right. Mick Bates and Stuart Russell. Stuart's guessed again, unfortunately not right. You've got the goal scorer. It is Ian Acho. They've both said against Liverpool. That is incorrect. Let's see if you can get the team now from clue number 4.
Okay.
left-hand side, coming into the penalty area. Only Iheanacho to aim for. It's Iheanacho, he's blocked. It's Iheanacho, it's in! And Leicester City strike first in the FA Cup semi-final. And it's Iheanacho once again, the FA Cup specialist.
There you go. So you haven't had the team yet, but you've had the goal scorer, and you should all remember it was only a couple of years ago, wasn't it? Another famous day for the club. Get those correct answers in. Well done to Rye, the first one to get it. After 3 clues, everyone's been saying it's too easy this season. After 3 as well.
After 3, yeah.
Yeah, but you did have some extra hints, though, didn't you?
Did I?
Yeah.
What?
Right,
Like
let's
what?
do our football Jenga at the end of the show. That means the 4 of us go head to head. I'll read out the theme very quickly before I do the predictions. So the theme is, you guys can get a head start against me. After he netted Leicester's first against Southampton on Friday, name any team Jamie Vardy has scored against for the Foxes.
Right.
Any team Jamie Vardy has scored against for Leicester is the theme for our Jenga. I'll very quickly do predictions. Again, if you're new to us on Extra Time, the 4 of us are going head-to-head throughout the season, predicting some results in the Championship. Basically, if you get it spot on, you get 3 points. If you get the result right, you get 1 point. The first game was Blackburn against Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
We all said 2-1. Well done to all of us.
Oh.
So we all get 3
that's a
points
first,
there.
isn't it?
Yeah, the next game then, we'll just get through these nice and quickly.
I was feeling all pleased with myself.
Sheffield
why.
Wednesday against Ipswich. Matt Elliott with another 3-pointer.
There you are. There you are.
None for the rest of us.
That'll do me. I think that's
You should be writing
after
teams
that.
down here. You should be writing teams down. Preston 2, Plymouth 1. I was the only person that didn't think Preston would win that one. So 1 point for everyone but me. Cardiff Swansea, Ewan was there, and he's the only one that gets a point again. We all thought it would be 1-1. And that was on Saturday evening. And then the Millwall Leeds game. Leeds were brilliant yesterday, weren't they? Tony, the only person to get a point there. Right, let's see what that has done to the current table. Let's have this on for as little time as possible, you and I think. Last season, we were right at the very top, weren't we? All year, and now look at us. Matt and Jerry just keep getting lucky results.
Because we do our homework, mate. That's what it is.
Right, okay, football Jenga time. We've only got about 5 minutes. We are going to have to rattle through these, I'm afraid. So
Any team, not Premier League.
Any team, not Premier League. Any team Jamie Vardy has scored against for Leicester. I'll go first.
Not Premier League.
Not Premier League, so it's any team.
struggling.
Any team he's scored against. No, Premier League's included.
Okay.
Yeah, but any team. So I will start with Liverpool.
Who's it?
Matt next, yeah.
West Brom.
Tony, please.
Yeah, Man City.
Arsenal.
Manchester United.
Oh, you're going for the bankers, aren't you? Southampton. Talk the bankers.
Tottenham.
Villa.
Chelsea.
Tranmere.
Rogue one.
Newcastle.
Brighton.
Everton. Oh no, you're not struggling.
No, I'm not struggling. Sheffield United. I was going to save some for later.
Leeds.
West Ham.
Burnley.
I'm not about half a struggle now. Here we go. Norwich.
So his last two.
Brighton.
Oh, we've had that one.
I
We've
thought
had that
I
one.
thought we'd have right.
Yeah, Ewan said it already.
It's a short night. He's only been here 25 minutes.
So that's Tony out. That's good for our timing anyway. So the 3 of us are left now.
I'm going to go Swansea City.
That's a good shout.
I'm going to say Sunderland.
That's a great shout, yes. I'm not sure about this one. Watford.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to get one where I can remember him scoring.
Stoke City.
Crystal Palace. We haven't said that yet, have we?
Ah. Remember the Eagles celebration. Yeah. Well done, son. Wolverhampton.
Yeah, I had that one written down. I've got two that I didn't want to go to
I'm
yet.
going to try.
Oh, it's you, isn't it?
Yes.
Sorry.
Brentford.
Yeah, I'm not sure that. Not sure.
I didn't think so.
I've got.
Oh, hang on.
Well, we've had a cross. We've had an.
Ah, no, I know. It's reminding me of something else.
Right. I've got two. I didn't want to use these because they're good ones, but I'm going to have to now because I'm struggling. Braga.
Oh, you can't bring that into play, man.
Why not?
I couldn't think of European teams.
Oh,
Champions League?
Vardy scored two. Well, I've got one definite, but I like to save it. Bates is struggling. Bournemouth.
Was that your saving one? Was it?
Yeah.
Could be struggling then. Atletico Madrid.
Yes. Should have. Oh, you're struggling though because you're on the European. That's because you. Right. Did he score any more? Not sure he did he? Who else is there in Premier League? Can't think who else there'd be. We're going to load there, aren't we?
I think Championship then. Teams relegated.
Fulham.
Yeah, nice. He scored on his debut. I think I'm fairly certain
Scored against all of them, didn't he?
Torquay. His debut. Well, his first goal for the club certainly.
It's okay.
I think I'm struggling though.
Did he score? No. I was going to say Fleetwood, but he didn't even play in that game. Torquay beats me. Right, let's go. You said Brentford, didn't you? You said Swansea. I'm going to go Cardiff. I don't know why. It's not a good shout, I don't think.
No, I'm lucky, mate.
Say it like you mean it.
Yeah, I don't mean it. I don't mean it at all. Yeah, I'll take that. I think that's my first this season.
Yeah.
I think that's my first this season. Yeah, I was going to say if I had to go again, AEK Athens, but now I'm thinking maybe he didn't, but I didn't have to say it anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Can we check that one?
Oh, it was a ding anyway.
Resounding, Batesy, resounding.
There we go. Some of the ones we missed. Forest. He scored again, so we missed Forest. It's an obvious one, but we'll come back to that. Sevilla as well. We should have got Sevilla, really, shouldn't we? It doesn't really matter. Anyway, thank you very much to Tony Cottee, to Iwan Roberts, and to Matt Elliott for their company this evening. Thanks half to Tony Cottee. Not your fault, though, Tony. So,
cheers, boys.
Only kidding, yeah. We'll be back again on Wednesday.
He's little.
For the trip to Norwich. Matchday Live will be live as ever on Fox's Hub. You'll be able to watch it if you're in certain territories as well. All the details for that on Fox's Hub. Join us, please, from 7 o'clock. So we'll see you then. And thank you very much for this evening. Have a great week, everybody.